If you're sitting here questioning, why is this person not knowing my worth? Why are they, bailing on me last minute? And why do they always not make time for me? And you just don't feel like someone values your time, your effort, your energy. In this video, I'm going to teach you how you can know your worth, how you can get people to respect you, and how to stop settling for bare minimum behavior in men, in friendships, in everything. So I'm going to ask you this question. Imagine you go to McDonald's and you request for pasta and red wine. They refuse you. Now, is that a problem with McDonald's? They wouldn't serve you, not because you're asking for too much, but because you're asking in the wrong place. Let that sink in. You're searching for a specific thing, and that person, that thing, is not going to offer you that. What are you going to do? Are you going to start shouting in McDonald's and be like, give me my pasta and red wine? No, you're not. You're just going to accept it because that's not what they offer. And so the same thing translates in relationships when you're dating and you're trying to find, you want a specific type of man. And when you're dating and they're not offering that type of thing, whether that is a guy that's consistent, he is paying for your dinners, he doesn't do 50-50, he's assertive, he's masculine, he leads you, he plans the dates, he spoils you. If you're on a date with someone and they want to split 50-50, you don't need to communicate your high worth. You don't need to explain, oh my God, but I'm so high value woman, I deserve to have a man that pays for me. No, you don't need to waste your energy. You just walk away because you're in McDonald's and you're looking for pasta and red wine in a nice fancy Italian restaurant. And so that's the whole idea, that if you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't see your worth, or you have friends that don't prioritize you, you don't need to explain why you're high value. Some people just don't see your value, and it's fine. They're just not for you. And if you stay until the end of this video, I'm going to give you some amazing tips on how to set boundaries with everyone so they respect you and know exactly from the start if a man is serious about you when you're dating. For those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Celine Clark. I am a spiritual entrepreneur and an investor who has built a 6-figure business and retired my mom. And now I help women become the highest version of themselves financially, emotionally, energetically. And my mission is to pass down the wisdom that changed my life so you can build wealth, step into your feminine power, and design a life that feels aligned with your soul. So let's get back to an example with dating. I recently on Instagram, someone asked me, how did you meet your boyfriend who is running a 4 businesses, and he's, good looking and handsome and muscular and rich? How were you able to tell him and communicate to him your high worth? And I just told her, someone of high value never needs to communicate that they're high worth. You just show it through actions. And the moment that someone disrespects you, you show them with absence of actions. You don't respond when they disrespect you. Let's use an example. You go on a first date and you're looking for a serious relationship with a man. You want a man, and you have to know exactly what you want. You want a man who is a provider, has a provider mindset. He doesn't do 50-50. He plans the dates. When he plans something, he does it 3 days in advance or 1 week in advance. He plans stuff. He's a real man. Now, imagine he bails last minute. 1 hour in advance, doesn't tell you, no updates during the day, and then last minute before the dinner, he bails and he says, hey, sorry, something came up. He doesn't reschedule. He just says something come up. Now, a doormat girl, a nice girl who doesn't know her worth, let's call her Penny. Penny will immediately respond out of desperation, out of lack, out of knowing her worth, and she's gonna be like, oh my God, no worries. What about next week? Does it work for you? You're basically giving all your energy to someone who clearly is not worth what you're looking for, right? And so someone of high value is not going to tell this guy, you know what? Like, you start being angry and everything. You'd be like, you know what? A girl like me who's high value does not cancel on me last minute. You don't need to communicate that you're high value. You simply use your actions or absence, lack of actions, to show that you're high value. So, what do? You don't respond for a few hours because men respond the most. They feel in danger when you don't give them attention. So you wait a few hours, you do your own thing because you have your own life. Maybe 6 hours before, that's your standard. You have a standard that if a man doesn't give you a confirmation 6 hours before or even one day before, it's not a date. You live your life. You're busy. You're going to Pilates class. You're going to have brunch with your friends. You're doing something. And so if he cancels last minute, you don't respond. And then when he follows back and be like, hey, can we meet again? You can just be like, hey, I don't date men who cancel last minute. That's it. I just find it disrespectful. And to be honest, I just find that really unattractive in men. That's the best roast you can ever say to a guy. Anything that you don't like in a guy, you just say, I just find it extremely of a turn off, unattractive. He's gonna get so scared. He's gonna instantly be like, shit, I'm losing her. And then it's up to him if, like, usually I just already, if it's a really good reason, it's just one time, maybe I will give him a second chance. But most of the time, if I'm starting to see these small little orange red flags and everything, I move on to the next person. I don't need to constantly prove my worth. If that guy doesn't show me, give me enough attention, well, that's not the guy I'm looking for. And another thing, right? Let's go back to the McDonald's situation. You're someone that wants a serious relationship. Yet, if you think the best option to find a serious man who has serious goals in his life, why are you still going to the club? I know most girls say, "Oh, I'm gonna go out tonight. Like I'm gonna go out Friday, Saturday night, so I can, hopefully find a guy." Or if you do meet a guy, you have such big expectations that he's gonna be somehow that man that's in the picture of your head, like this fantasy. When the reality is, men who have this, let's say, constant routine of going to the club every Friday and Saturday night, the ones who make money are not gonna go to the club. They're going to sleep early. They're going to wake up early and do their business. They're going to spend their free time networking with other high net worth businessmen. They're not going to spend, from midnight to 6 in the morning drinking their problems away and hooking up with a bunch of girls. That's just simply not the place where you find a serious man with serious goals. Because the reality is, most guys that go clubbing, and I'm saying the ones that do it on a weekly basis, they're going to the club to escape their real life because they're unhappy with their real life. They're not fulfilled. They don't have real goals in their life. If you have real goals and you're disciplined, you are not gonna go and disrupt your sleep and like make yourself feel like shit by drinking 5 shots of tequila, then one Jägermeister and all these and then magically the next morning you go back to your business. No, businessman, or like if you're looking for a serious man, they're not going to be clubbing. And so are you delusional to want a serious relationship and find a man in a club? You're asking for pasta and red wine in McDonald's. Do you understand? So that's how you have to first place yourself in the right setting where your worth is valued.